Hello and welcome to Parent to Parent. Today we have with us Mahesh, and he's going to give us a glimpse of his experience in the NICU unit. Hello, Mahesh.
Hello, Shanti. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You had a little one back in October 2012. Do you care to tell us about that experience?
Not a problem at all.
Okay. Would you tell us how you and your wife ended up in a NICU unit?
Sure. So basically, Suhasini was born on October 30th, 2012, and within I think a day or two in the hospital after delivery, after her birth, she was diagnosed with very low blood sugar, and that could have been because of Amita's, the mother's gestational diabetes diagnosis. So all the hospital doctor analysis or diagnosis was to get admitted to the NICU so that they could monitor or regulate her blood sugars. So primarily they put Suhasini in the NICU, and within like the day of her delivery or of our day of her birth, and we were there for about 5 days.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
5 days, yes. And the experience was, of course, it was the first time. We are not prepared for it, but they had showed us the process. They kept us informed what was ongoing. The only difficult part was to see the newborn with all the probes and all the, IV sticking out of her, but they were pretty comfortable, or they were keeping us assured that nothing unusual, and so we gradually gotten used to it. The day, second day, third day, and she was able to react to the medication. Not necessarily medication, but they were giving her, they were regulating her insulin, I guess. And I think day four, they pretty much said it's a matter of day or two. And looking back, it was reasonably not too much harrowing experience. A 5 day visit or a 5 day stay for her.
That's not a long time period. While you were there, what would you consider one of your scary or your most traumatic moments? I would guess one of the moments that made your heart go like, okay, I'm not happy at the moment.
Okay, sure. So that was on day two. So the procedure in the NICU, what we figured was they were doing one test after another. So the initial few tests we were quite comfortable. We were like, okay, this is part of the process. But then I think at day three they had mentioned that she was having, I think, low potassium or high potassium levels, and
Mm-hmm.
they suspected it could be something with the heart. So the only harrowing experience we had was that time. Okay, this is more than just the sugar, but the side effect of it was just another routine test, and it was one more false positive, so to speak. So I would say that was my, if I can look back, that was the one most harrowing experience. Was okay, are we now going from one stage to another stage? Is it going from one diagnosis to another diagnosis? And the most harrowing part was waiting for results to come back, where they would come do tests and then they would say wait for 8 hours or 12 hours, because it would take that much time to do a diagnosis and analysis. So I think the most harrowing part was just the waiting. It has got nothing to do with the process itself. It's just that we had to wait to get confirmation.
How did you handle that moment? What did you do? What kind of music did you listen to? Did you have a song that actually helped you through, or was there a saying that helped you in that moment?
Not really too much. I mean, just some prayers, maybe praying.
Yeah.
But more importantly, because Amita was with me and I was with her, we just kind of leaned on each other, and we reassured ourselves, or reassured each other,
Mhm.
that it should be fine. Because we didn't have any other external support as an external family. Amita's mother was here also, but we were pretty much hoping for the best. We were reasonably positive that it should be okay.
What did you do? What would you call one of your high moments while you were in the NICU unit? What was a happy moment for you while you were in the NICU?
There were quite a few of those minor happy moments in the sense the care given was very reassuring. So when the nurses would give the baby a bath or a feeding, those minor comfort moments where they used to allow us to be part of that, that was very helpful. So the NICU was not cordoned off for us, maybe because of a situation. So I was with her all the time, with the baby all the time, or was allowed to come in reasonably as much as I wanted. Uh,
Actually, I have a random question for you. I know with my NICU experience, when they took our little one from us, we couldn't see him for a few hours. Did you get to go immediately back, or did they delay you?
Oh yeah, there were some periods where they would not allow us in. So that was more to do with either the shift change or there were other apparatus which had to to be set up or readied up. So there were some periods which were out of bounds for us to go to be with the child. But if I recollect back, that were very few and far between, not enough that I could even relate back to now.
Do you have any advice you would like to share for a parent that has a little one in the NICU unit?
Sure. I mean, from my experience, what I would share is to talk freely with if it's the mother and father. I would say the one positive aspect would be to share your thoughts freely and keep the communication open. Uh, it's surprising that you will find that both of you are talking about the same thing or both of you have the same thoughts. So I felt the person-to-person communication is very key. It's very difficult to solve everything yourself, and I don't think there is a need to feel you have to do it yourself. You can always lean on your partner, so to speak. And I found that was a single major helpful point for both me and Amita.
I'm going to throw a random question at you. I thought that was actually excellent advice, Mahesh. And with the different hangouts I've done and the different interviews outside of the hangouts I've done, no one has actually given that advice as far as what you did, as far as that open communication with your partner during that time.
Hmm.
Um, how did this situation bring y'all as far as your relationship goes? Did it bring y'all closer? Because a lot of times when you're in a traumatic situation, it actually brings you closer or it pulls you apart. And it
Sure.
sounds like it brought you guys closer.
Absolutely. I think the one benefit I would think we were lucky where our both focus or concentration was for the benefit of the child.
Yeah.
It was not so much our feelings or our needs or our challenges. I think subconsciously we were both very conscious of looking out for the child's interest, and that kind of kept our focus on one area. So that kind of made it easier as well.
Well, I think that was excellent advice. I do have one final. I have a lot more questions I would love to ask you, but for the sake of today, I
Sure.
actually have one final question for you.
Sure.
Where is Suhasini now? What is she doing now?
She is actually fast asleep on her mid-morning nap upstairs in a crib. So she normally sleeps between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. on the weekends, on the just after having her breakfast. So she is sound asleep at this moment,
Resting. Well,
resting.
I am glad to hear that. Thank you so much for interviewing and sharing your story with us. And that's all, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye.